Okay, now my thing's working. Going fishing. I can tell right away that Reenie's father is a confident storyteller, but today his patience will be strained. This story is about a fishing trip I took with my father, Mr. Willens begins. We had to drive a long way to my grandfather's farm in Mississippi. Well, actually, my grandmother's farm. My grandfather was in heaven. Why is your grandfather in heaven? He passed away a long time ago. Anyway, we drove through Missouri and Arkansas, and finally we got to a place called Yazoo. He's dead? Yes. Now I kept saying, when we gonna get there, Daddy? And he kept saying, in a little while, son. How did he die? Was he shotted? No, he had a heart attack. His heart stopped working. Well, finally we got there, way out in the country, and the thing I saw was a big black pot. If your heart stops working, if your heart attacks you, you're really dead. Sometimes people do get sick with respect to their hearts, children, and then go to the hospital for help. Anyway, I said, Grandma, what's that big pot for? See, it was right there in the front yard. And she told me, you'll find out later tonight. So if your heart and your head both attacks you and you're shot, you really are the most dead of all. Mr. Willens takes a deep breath. Okay. But this was natural, okay? So we went fishing, right? We had all the you'd be dead more from the head than from the heart, because in your head is your brain. We had a long pole and a long string. Have any of you ever gone fishing before? I never went fishing because my dad knows it's poison fish. That's why. Well, in some waters, but not when I was a child. Mr. Willens looks at me, raising his eyebrows. Mr. Willens, I call out, did your dad let you hold the pole? He flashes me a smile. That's just it. They didn't fish with a pole. They took the long string and tied more strings to it, and each string had a hook at the bottom. Then they took the string on a little rowboat and rowed to the other side of the lake and tied it to a tree. Then they came back and took the other end and tied it to the pole. Then we left. I said to my dad, this isn't fun. We're not fishing with a pole. But he said, when we came back, wait till you see how many fish will be waiting for us. Later on that night, we went back and you never saw so many fish. They needed all of us, me and my brothers and my cousins and uncles and aunts and my dad, to pull the fish in. We took the fish back and the grown-ups cleaned the fish while the children played there. Daddy, was the big black pot still there? Glad you remembered, honey. They started a big fire under that black pot. And oh, hi there, Oliver. Are you listening to my fishing story? Oliver comes up close. If they shoot you, then you have to be dead, he says. That's sometimes true, Oliver, Mr. Willens says gently. You all don't need to worry about that sort of thing. No one will ever shoot you. Reenie climbs up on her father's lap while he finishes his story. Then they put grease in the pot, and it started boiling in the hot pot, and they dropped in all the fish we caught. Oh boy, what a meal. We had cornbread and fresh greens and corn on the cob and all the fish we could eat. Mr. Willens. I'm sorry, Bruce says. About what, son? That your grandpa died. I'm sorry he got sick and he died. Well, thank you, Bruce. That's really nice of you to say that.